Welcome back to the channel, everyone. In today's video we'll be fitting some brand new MG alloy wheel centre caps to the MG-TF. We're going to try a few different ways of getting those centre caps off of the wheels but without jacking the car up. Now you might be asking, well, why are you going to try and do it that way? It's because I'm lazy. So the first thing is, let's have a look at the different options for getting the centre caps off of the wheels before we get out to the car and give it a go. So let's have a look at the different methods that we're going to try for removing the centre caps from the alloy wheels. Now the first one we're going to have a look at is using some regular gaffer tape, duct tape. I think this was probably bought from Homebase. The idea being with this one, you stick the gaffer tape to your centre cap that's on the wheel and you just pull on it and hopefully it comes off. The next one we're going to try is just using some plastic. So I just cut this up from some packaging and we'll try and put that down the side of the centre cap and see if we can pull it off. The third one, which is the one I'm thinking is going to probably be the most successful, is using a suction cup. This one is from an old dash cam that I used to have fitted to the car. So idea, you'll stick that on, do it up, pull it off. And the final one we try is using some trim removal tools. So we've got various different ones here, so I'll pick the one when we're out of the car that looks like it's going to be the one that will be thin enough to fit down there between the centre cap and the wheel, and we'll see if it works. Now you notice none of these are sharp, none of them are metal. The reason there is because we don't want to damage the centre caps. You might want to keep the ones that are on there for whatever reason. You might be taking them off to clean them. You also don't want to damage the alloy wheel. You might see some people try it where they use like a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, put the flathead screwdriver down between the centre cap and the wheel. Now, to me, that is just a recipe for disaster. You're almost certainly going to scratch the wheel doing it that way. So let's get out to the car and see which one of these four ways of doing it works and which one works best. So first up is the gaffer tape. Once you've got the gaffer tape cut off the roll, what you might want to do, and what I did, was fold over a little bit in the middle of the tape to give you something to hold on to when you pull it off. And then when you go to put it on the wheel, just make sure that you've stuck it on as firmly as you can, making sure there's no air bubbles underneath the tape. At this point, you can then give it a good pull, and as you can see, it didn't work and didn't move at all. The next option is to use some plastic. So I just used some old packaging that I'd cut up. The idea here being that we want to try and push the plastic in between the centre cap and the alloy wheel, and then trying to pull on it to see if the centre cap moves at all. Now every time I tried to put it in, I couldn't ever quite get it far enough in to get enough leverage on the centre cap to make it move at all. So after about 30 seconds of trying, I concluded that it really wasn't going to work. And what I decided to do in this next one was to use two pieces of plastic. So trying to work one in on one side, and then you can see I was putting the other one in the other side to see if that would make any difference and give me any more leverage on that centre cap in order to pull it out. To be honest, this didn't work either. Either the centre cap was just too firmly in the wheel, or it just doesn't work. So some of you might find that this one works, and if it does, pop a comment down below and let me know.
I'd be interested to know if any of you had any success with this option. Okay, so next up is the suction cup. And what we'll be doing here is sticking the suction cup onto the centre cap as firmly as we can before then trying to pull it off. As you can see, the suction cup pulled the centre cap out of the wheel first time, and I'm really impressed with this way of getting the centre cap out of the wheel. Last up are the trim removal tools. Apologies at the camera angle here, I couldn't quite get the angle right to show you what I was doing, but what I'm trying to do is put the trim removal tool in between the centre cap and the alloy wheel, much the same as when we were using the pieces of plastic. Again, after trying for a while, I decided that this wasn't working and the centre cap really wasn't going to come out using the trim removal tools. Now we've worked out that the suction cup is the best method for removing the centre caps. I'm going to run through the whole process of removing and replacing the centre caps in an alloy wheel.
Now, once you've got your centre cap off and you look at the back of it, you'll notice that there's 4 clips that hold it into the wheel, and then there's this one groove here. Now this one groove lines up with a groove on the inside of the alloy wheel, so when you refit it you have to make sure that that lines up with the groove that's inside the alloy wheel, otherwise you won't be able to push it back in. So if you put it in, you see the groove lines up there and pushes straight back in. All of the centre caps are now replaced. The method that I found most effective in removing the centre caps, particularly the front two, was to use a suction cup. I will confess I did use a trim removal tool on the rear 2 centre caps before pulling them off with the suction cup, just because the back 2 didn't want to come out quite so easily and the suction cup wouldn't bring them out on their own. If any of you have your own methods for getting centre caps out of an alloy wheel without jacking up the car, please make comments below and let me know what they are. If you enjoyed today's video, hopefully you'll hit that like button below, and if you want to see more how-to videos on what you can do with your MG, hit that subscribe button up there, and until then, I'll see you soon.